First we had a crappy trailer, then we had an awesome trailer, and now the highly anticipated DC Comics movie Green Lantern is finally here. Before seeing Green Lantern, I knew nothing about the character. I am more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy, and even then I don't know all of the Marvel characters, so Green Lantern really was just, so he's green? That's all I knew, you know? So when I first saw the first trailer, I thought it looked pretty lame, and then the next well, I mean, maybe not the next trailer, but there was like a 4-minute trailer or something like that, and everything since then I thought looked awesome, and I was really, really excited to see it. Just a few days before the movie came out, or maybe like, you know, the week-ish kind of before, reviews from, I guess, advanced screenings started to come in, and they were dismal. Very, very poor reviews. So I was like, oh no, is this going to be absolutely terrible? And so I'm glad to say that it was definitely not as bad as a lot of people are making it seem. You know, the reviews are much lower than I think it deserves. And it wasn't fantastic. It definitely had some big flaws, and I thought it was just kind of, it was good, but it was not as bad as I was worried that it would be after all the terrible reviews. Green Lantern has some major pros and also some pretty major cons. First of all, I'll say that the best part of the movie really is the acting. Now, the best in the movie, very easily, is Peter Sarsgaard. I was blown away. I thought that he was awesome, and I wish that the movie was longer so that he could have been developed more, even though he was pretty well developed as it is, I thought, for what the movie's worth. I would have honestly loved to see a whole movie just about that character. I thought he did an excellent job, and that is one of the major reasons why I enjoyed the movie in general. If not for Peter Sarsgaard, the movie would just be like, okay. But he really brings it up another level, and I would say it was pretty good just because of him. Then Ryan Reynolds kind of just plays like his usual character, but it's really perfect for this role, so it works out very well. You know, he kind of fell into it perfectly, I guess. But good casting on his part, even though at first I was skeptical just because he has played, you know, Deadpool before, so it was a little weird. Blake Lively, you know what, I don't know what exactly the story is with Blake Lively. Sometimes she's really good, and then sometimes she's pretty bad. And this is one of those times where she's pretty bad, I thought. I didn't think she was terrible, but I also didn't think she was much, you know, to shake a stick at, exactly. So, yeah, that's the weirdest thing I think I've ever said about anyone. I thought that she was kind of just, first of all, you know, she was doing the best she could, I guess, with pretty terrible dialogue, but you know, just her saying the lines just made it even worse. Like, it sounded even worse than it probably was written, which was pretty bad to begin with, I guess. So, yeah, that was, but like I said, the writing, not that good, in my opinion, dialogue-wise, at least. I mean, you know, and just, I understand that this happens in, like, so many superhero movies, but, I don't know, people just, one of the major flaws of the movie, in my opinion, was just how nobody seemed to care about Green Lantern. Like, about Hal Jordan, you know, being a Green Lantern. Like, people saw him, and we never saw any legitimate reaction, I guess, to the fact that there was, like, a superhero right in front of everybody. Blake Lively, what the hell's her character's name? Carol, was just, like, she didn't even seem to be, like, fazed by it. You know, I don't understand. Nobody seemed to care, and that was a little bit weird, and that was a huge reason why I thought the movie was, like, I thought it was really weird. And also, I don't know if the movie, for me, the movie felt, like, too short, because, like I said, I wish there had been more time to develop these characters a bit. Peter Sarsgaard's character I thought was developed the best. They tried to add a little bit of, you know, background to Ryan Reynolds' character, but it was kind of just, it kind of fell flat a little bit. And it just, I don't know, it just felt short to me, even though, I mean, it wasn't, I guess it wasn't too short in general, but, I don't know, it definitely felt like it was lacking. It felt like, honestly, it was over before it began. That's exactly how it felt. It felt like a whole lot of lead-up and then just nothing. But something else about the movie that I thought was great, and this is what I liked about Thor, you know, just, you know, in terms of superhero movies here, I guess, the fantasy element of the movie. This is probably the most fantasy-oriented superhero movie I've seen in a while, just because they didn't try to, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I thought about it, I think it's a good thing more than a bad thing. They didn't try to make it, like, relatable, whereas in Thor, you know, he's down on Earth and everyone's like, haha, look at that, the god is down on Earth, he's on our turf, baby. I didn't like that, you know? In this, it's all aliens and crazy shit, and if you don't buy it and if you don't get into it, then you're gonna not know what the hell's going on, because there's like fish people. It felt like going on the E.T. ride, you know, like with all the weird-ass creatures all over the place. And, you know, they didn't try to, like, dumb down these alien creatures, I feel like, to make them look more, or more, not more believable, but less ridiculous. Because they're just crazy aliens. There's like fish people, there's like plant-looking people with like freaking huge faces and hair and stuff. And then there was the Guardians with the huge heads. And I love that they kept it as, you know, fantastical and, you know, fantasy-oriented, I guess, as I suppose the source material is. Like I said, I don't really know the comics, really, so I'm assuming that this stuff all looked great, because if not, then why would they make it look so ridiculous? Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, obviously, because again, I don't know the comics, but it just seems so crazy and over the top that, you know, how could it possibly be, you know, wrong? Because why would they make it look like that if it was wrong? So, I definitely like that it was not necessarily grounded in reality. It was a very fantasy-oriented movie, but the downside of that is that the characters are pretty much, they're not relatable to me, at least. I wasn't able to relate to the characters, and in the situation in general and everything. So, you know, it's good and bad, but, you know, like I said, in general, I've thought about it, I think it's more good than bad. And another thing that I should mention, just because it was kind of a big deal, I guess, leading up to the movie, the effects, the CG suit and everything, I thought that it was fine. I really didn't notice. The mask was a little bit off, but for the most part, I thought it was fine. It was definitely not bothering me at all. I barely thought about it. So if that whole suit the whole time, aside from the mask, was all CG, then I thought they did a really, really good job with it, because I thought it looked fine. I really did. The mask, like I said, was just a little off sometimes, but the rest of the effects, honestly, the whole thing was a little bit cartoony, so it really it doesn't matter anyway, because the whole thing had a little bit of a, again, the movie was very fantasy-ish, so it kind of worked. But yeah, the effects in general weren't amazing, but definitely the suit I thought was fine. I thought they did a good job with it. But just in general, you know, bad writing, I thought, bad dialogue actually, specifically, and just kind of a rushed experience. It kind of felt rushed. It felt like it was over before it began, and it didn't really feel like there was anything at stake for the most part, even though technically the whole world was going to end. But yeah, it never felt like a dire situation. It just felt too easy once, like, the battles happened and stuff like that. And maybe, again, maybe it's just because it felt too short, too rushed, but, yeah, it was just, it was lacking. Definitely lacked heart, definitely lacked fun, it felt kind of stale, and for that reason, it's probably gonna just be forgotten. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be based on the epic trailers that came out more recently, but it definitely wasn't as bad, I don't think, as a lot of the more recent reviews make it sound. So I would, you know, say Green Lantern is just good, nothing incredible, nothing terrible, in my opinion, forgettable. Now I'm going to talk about a couple of little spoilerish things, so if you don't want to know anything about Green Lantern, and I recommend just, you know, might as well not know these things when you go into it, please don't watch the rest of this review. Once you see Green Lantern, you can come back and watch the rest, and we can have a little chit-chat about it. So hopefully right now, if you're watching, you have seen Green Lantern. Basically, the one thing that I want to say is that Parallax talked a lot of shit, and then just got destroyed really easily at the end, and I thought that was kind of, it just seemed very easy, way too easy. And, you know, they went up to the sun, and, you know, Hal Jordan got pretty damn close to the sun. I'm gonna assume that, you know, his suit kind of protected him from the sun, because he was pretty damn close. And, the fact, the way he beat him with the, you know, he had like the fighter jets pulling him back, I thought that was a little hokey, because it's like, oh, let's connect this to the beginning of the movie. Gotcha, got it, look at that, how much depth we've got. I don't like that. I thought that it was really kind of a stretch and a reach, and, you know, I didn't think it was a big connection or anything like that. And yeah, I really thought that Parallax was just beaten way too easily, and I didn't like that at all. Especially after all of the shit it talked, like, you know, I will destroy you, you will never beat me, you know, and it was just crazy thing. And then he was, like, trying to get, it almost seemed like he was trying to get Hal Jordan to beat him. He was like, come on, don't be a bitch, come on, fight me, you know, and it was like, why wouldn't you want to just destroy him? I don't understand. And then when he got his ass whooped, it's like, you know, serves you right, you asked for it. So I thought that was weird. And then I don't know anything about it because, again, I don't know the source material, I don't know the comics or anything, but I thought it was pretty cool when Sinestro, you know, he put the yellow ring on, I guess, and he became like the yellow-suited guy. I don't know who that is. I don't know if, is it just Sinestro but different? I don't know if it's a villain or something, but everyone in the theater that was like a big fan, I guess, of Green Lantern, or who at least was aware of what was going on, cheered and freaked out when that happened, so it made me happy because I was happy just to see that the fans were excited, and so that was very cool, I thought. Even though I don't know what it was, it doesn't really matter to me though, because it's just, I don't know Green Lantern, so it's not a big deal to me. But, I guess we'll see in Green Lantern 2, and that was kind of one of the problems, is that it felt like it was all set up for a sequel, and, I don't know, I didn't really like that. But, yeah, that's all I gotta say about Green Lantern. Again, thought it was alright, but it was kind of stale and really lacking any heart or soul, and it was just kind of whatever. So, again, let me know what you thought of the movie. Let me know if you're a fan of Green Lantern, and, you know, how you thought it compared to the comics, I guess. Was it faithful, or was it not faithful at all? I guess we'll see how Green Lantern 2 plays out. Maybe it'll be, you know, better because it already had the setup from the first one, but I guess we'll have to see. Again, let me know anything you want about Green Lantern, and that's pretty much it.